Hey everybody, this is Danielle from naturallyknockedup.com, and as part of this week's class in the e-course, I'm going to show you how to make kombucha really quick. It's quite simple. You just have to have what's called a SCOBY. There are a couple of different places online that you can order them from. They'll come dehydrated, and then you just make your own at home. Otherwise, you can get one from a friend if you know someone who brews it, because every time you brew it, you actually get a new SCOBY. This is actually what they look like. It just sits on top of the tea. Before you start making kombucha, you need to wash your hands thoroughly. You take off all of your rings. You don't want any metal to touch the SCOBY, and you don't want anything hot to touch it. But also make sure you kind of sterilize your jars, run them under hot water for a little bit, take them out of a dishwasher while they're still hot. But what you do, I kind of do it quickly when I brew or when I steep the actual tea. You can actually steep the tea in the full 3 quarts of water, but then you have to wait for the water to get down to room temperature. So I usually take 3 tea bags. These are all black tea. You can do a combination of black and green. Just make sure you have at least 1 black tea bag in the bunch. Just go ahead and steep that in about 1 quart of hot water for 10 minutes or so. Once the 10 minutes is up, you want to go ahead and put about 1 cup of sugar into it as well. And you want to put this into the hot tea so that it kind of dissolves a little bit. You can go ahead and stir it around a little bit. Normally you wouldn't use plastic either if you have something wooden, but I broke my wooden spoon. So we'll just stir it up here a minute with the end of my plastic thing here. So once it's dissolved a little bit, this is almost a gallon. You'll want something that's it takes about 4 quarts or a gallon. We'll be putting about 3 quarts of liquid into it. You'll take the hot tea and the sugar. Make sure you get all the sugar at the bottom. The sugar is actually what the kombucha feeds off of. And then you'll take another 2 quarts of cold water. And go ahead and put that in. Now, all you have to do is take your SCOBY and place it into the tea. It may sink right away, that's fine. It'll probably rise to the top later. If it doesn't, there's still nothing wrong with it. Actually, let's test that first. And then when you get your SCOBY, you'll also have about 1/4 cup of kombucha from a previous batch. So go ahead and dump that in as well, kind of a starter. And what you'll do is you'll let this sit for about 7 to 10 days. Test it after 5 or 6 and every day after. Some people like it done after about 7 days. Some people like it at about 10. After you make it a couple of times, you can kind of play around with tea combinations, the green versus black. You can also use flavored teas. Just make sure they are actual teas, not herbal blends. Herbal blends like chamomile and such, they aren't actual tea. You can also flavor it when it's done. Once you're done fermenting your kombucha, go ahead and take the SCOBY out, make another batch, set that out, and then with the stuff that's already brewed, you can go ahead and add fruit. You can add some fruit juice, seal it up, let it sit for another day, and pop it in the fridge the next day. When you sit it out on the counter, go ahead and just cover it with cheesecloth, light towel. I use coffee filters that I actually don't use anymore, and I'll just put a rubber band on it and let it sit for about a week. So that's how you make kombucha.